The FCC's stunning lack of transparency under the leadership of Ajit Pai has been honestly baffling to a lot of people. It's been laughable, really, because they've done everything they possibly could do to hide seemingly benign, unimportant things. So, for example, Gizmodo wanted to obtain emails and details about a skit that Ajit Pai created with a Verizon executive, and they blocked that. So now we have another situation where the FCC received a FOIA request for details about the Harlem Shake video he created with the Daily Caller, and guess what? To no one's surprise, they're blocking details about that from getting out as well. So Ben Collins of NBC News reports, in December, the day before the Federal Communications Commission voted to repeal its net neutrality rules, the agency's chairman, Ajit Pai, appeared in a video for conservative news website The Daily Caller, because many people were surprised to see a high-ranking government policymaker explaining the new internet rules while dancing and waving a lightsaber or wearing a Santa suit and sunglasses. The video raced across the internet and has racked up more than 1.4 million views since it was published on YouTube. The origins of the video, however, weren't entirely clear. Whose idea was it? Who wrote the script? Did the other FCC commissioners know about it? So Muckrock, a nonprofit organization that helps request and analyze government documents, filed a Freedom of Information Act request with the FCC 4 months ago for agency emails about the video, a request that would seem relatively innocuous. The request was denied this week. The organization is now appealing the denial and considering a lawsuit. The very basic fact that they're unwilling to even disclose whether anybody had objections to this internally or if they were all aboard is the larger problem, said J. Pat Brown, the executive editor of Muckrock. You are entitled answers out of your government. The FCC declined to comment. So Ajit Pai creates this skit, seemingly to gin up support for his highly unpopular repeal of net neutrality. The way that he framed the skit was that, hey, it's no big deal, it's fun, right? He used old memes that have been dead for years. He definitely tried to appeal to millennials, clearly, since we're the ones who are speaking out the loudest against his net neutrality repeal. And, you'd think that it's not that big of a deal to obtain details about this. And what they're asking for, in particular, Muckrock is trying to figure out if anyone within the FCC was against this. That's all they want to know. But the FCC won't even give them that. So this just really is a microcosm of a broader issue within the FCC. And honestly, this is the least problematic of all the things that the FCC has tried to hide away from the public, because New York Attorney General Eric Schneiderman is conducting an investigation into comment fraud that occurred during the comment process when the FCC announced that they'd be repealing net neutrality. Well, there were thousands upon thousands of fake comments that were created by bots. Now, Eric Schneiderman's office has repeatedly tried to obtain information from the FCC, and the FCC has not complied with any requests for information. He's literally obstructing justice. Because if there is a problem, if comments are being created by bots at the behest of internet service providers, then this is fraud. So Eric Schneiderman is trying to investigate exactly what happened. He's trying to obtain information about who's culpable. Who did this? Was it an outside actor? Was it Ajit Pai? Was he complicit? Was anyone from within the FCC assisting some company with the creation of these bots? And Ajit Pai has been completely unwilling to cooperate with New York Attorney General Eric Schneiderman's investigation. Completely unwilling. Anytime the public does a Freedom of Information Act request, any FOIA that's been filed, he's basically said, nope, not going to get any info from us, no details whatsoever, even if it is benign, even if it's something that really shouldn't matter, like a skit, or the creation of the Harlem Shake video, still not going to give you anything. So to me, that says a lot about Ajit Pai, that he's really hiding corruption. It seems as though someone who wasn't corrupt, who didn't have anything to hide, would be more than willing to offer this information up to the public. But the fact that he's doing all of this to hide even the most dumbest things that shouldn't be hidden, it shows that his corruption probably was really brazen. Maybe his emails to the Daily Caller staff talked about his corruption, or, was him discussing his relationship to the industry. Who knows? But we know he came from the industry. He was a Verizon attorney, and then after he leaves his job at the FCC, more than likely, he's going to become an attorney again for Verizon, or maybe be placed in a higher position for even more pay. We know that's exactly what's going to happen, because this revolving door in Washington, D.C., where government officials go on to work for the agencies that they regulated, or deregulated, I should say, it happens all the time. And Ajit Pai is no different, but there is something unique about this case. His unwillingness to cooperate with any Freedom of Information Act requests says that he has a lot more to hide than we initially thought, and one day this information will get out. It will. And I think it's going to confirm what we all suspect about Ajit Pai. He is unapologetically and brazenly corrupt. And since he's unwilling to cooperate with any Freedom of Information Act requests, since he went against the overwhelming majority of the American people, since he's not willing to step down, he should be impeached. And the fact that Democrats, or no one in Congress that's prominent, is stepping up to suggest this is mind-boggling to me.
Support this podcast by becoming a patron at patreon.com/Humanist Report.